Hi guys, today we've got another question of the day video as usual until 19th of April, and today's question of the day is: should there be a death penalty or should there not be a death penalty? Well, today's question comes from debate.org, and the person who posted this question is the instigator, but there's no like there's no comments, but there's no introductory paragraph. So I'm just gonna read some of the comments. Okay. CON says, I think there should not be a death penalty because 1, I think it is an easy way out for a criminal. 2, fast, painless death. 3, I would want him or her to suffer for life in a jail cell. I would want the criminal to stay in jail and die in jail. A death penalty only makes his or her life easier and faster rotting in prison. That's really the only reason. Your move. Okay, so that person's obviously thought, well, I think death penalties shouldn't be allowed because, you know, these criminals have done something very bad, whether it's a murder or a robbery or any crime like that, and they think, you know, maybe dying's better than going in jail. You know, why should you just kill them instantly and get them out of all that pain staying in jail? You know, let them suffer in prison, you know. Let them pay for what they've done. Let them spend years and years in prison thinking about what they've done, why it was wrong, you know, and why they were staying in there for the rest of their lives. And to be honest, I actually agree with it if you look at it that way. But there again, I do have a few doubts about it. I sometimes think, maybe say if there's someone with a really bad mental problem and they're just going out killing everyone, you know, causing destruction in the prison, and not because they want to get them punished, because they want to keep everyone else out of danger, and even though it's not their fault for being mental, unfortunately they're just gonna have to like put them out of the misery, you know. I mean, I know it is a bit cruel with someone with a mental disability, but to be honest, it's the best for them if they're unhappy with everyone else and everyone else is unhappy with them. And if you look at it in that like sense, he's saying, yeah, that's a more friendly thing to do, because and unfortunately there's nothing to do. We can keep this mental person alive. You know, they're causing so much destruction. How can we we just have to get rid of them before everything else gets out of hand. You know what I mean? Because the last thing people really want these days is dead people in their hands. But death penalty is mainly used for murder crimes. Correct me if I'm wrong, I've never heard any death penalties for robberies, and I don't think there should be for that, to be honest, because that's something quite small. Paul says the con is arguing that the death penalty is too humane and that it should be outlawed to make prisoners suffer more through life in prison, meaning that my position in the debate is to prove that prison life can be enjoyable and that making the death penalty more painful goes strictly against laws forbidding cruel and unusual punishment. So that person's thought, well, 2 wrongs don't make a right. Yes, this criminal has murdered someone, but shouldn't they be forgiven, possibly? Yes, you can put them in prison, but 2 rights don't make a wrong. You shouldn't murder this person, otherwise you're just as bad for murdering someone. But then you look at it on the other side and think, well, maybe it's not just for a punishment. Maybe it's just, you know, there's nothing else we can do. You know, they're causing that much destruction. Just get rid of them. Done. You know, don't let them have to suffer. Let me just look at 1 or 2 more comments. Okay. Con says again, sitting in jail for life is not cruel and unusual punishment. There are people already in prison for life. Prison won't be enjoyable at all. Sitting in a cell for almost 20 hours a day won't be fun. Solitary confinement would be even worse. Sitting there all alone in a dark cell would drive you insane. The food you get isn't even good. You are right. They don't have to worry about paying bills, etc. They won't have to worry about what they're going to do now because they're in jail and their family's struggling out there. So yeah, at the end of the day, but sometimes, right, if they get a stronger prison cell where they can't really escape, they get fed through that cell, you know, they stay in there 24/7 for the rest of their lives. To be honest, looking at that side, you don't have to murder the person. You can just put them in one of those type of cells. But if they're that restless in the first place, how the hell are you going to get them in that cell, you know? Yeah, how are you going to get them in that cell, you know? It's either that or get put down, unfortunately. So yeah, in the UK, at the moment, death penalty is not, it's not allowed, right, in the moment. In the US, it is. And sorry, I forgot to mention what death penalty is. Death penalty, if you, it doesn't mean you're dumb if you don't know, but if you don't know what it is, it's like where you should have heard me explain it mostly in this video so far. It's like where you've done a really bad crime, and then you have to get put down with poison by you know, by someone who can do it, you know, instead of being put into prison. Okay, so that person's arguing that yeah, this person here is arguing, well, if you can put them in this stronger cell, you know, you won't have to kill them then. But if you can't get them in the cell in the first place and they're too restless, you're gonna have to put them down before things get too out of hand, because you can't even get them behind the bars. You know what I mean? That's the sort of thing. I'm going to read one more comment, then we'll be coming to a summary and we're going to end the video, okay? Pro says, my original arguments were to show how the death penalty and life in prison were similar in the scope of burden placed on prisoners, and show how life in prison can be tolerable compared to being put to death. The cruel and unusual punishment argument was shown show how the death penalty cannot be made more cruel and painful to meet the con standards, since there were no laws preventing against cruel and unusual punishment. However, there is another scope to this argument I have not addressed. Yes, what the person's trying to say, there is a lot of different things to, you know, there's a lot of outcomes to death penalty, and see, you can have your own opinion, but then you might change your mind because of all these other things it can cause, and you know, the really bad outcomes. So the summary of this video is I'm going to just end with my full opinion. I think if you've done a murderous crime, they should put you in jail for life. No, put you in torture for the rest of your life. That's the cruelest way. Whereas if they're mentally disabled, they're going to have to put and like they're really not going to get behind the bars. I think, you know, there's nothing you can do really, so you're going to have to put them down. Okay, so there's my opinions. Anyway guys, thanks for watching my video. Subscribe to my channel, like my videos. I'll see you tomorrow with a question of the day video and the day after that as well. Okay? That's it. Bye.